Right then, in this short tutorial, I'm going to show you how to launch a pre-proposal on Dash. Now, the idea behind a pre-proposal is that you can launch your pre-proposal and get discussions started before you launch your actual proposal on chain. So the pre-proposal is basically just when you go to the Dash forums, which you can find by going across to community and down to forums. You can find the Dash forums here. I've already logged in, but it helps if you yourself log in, make yourself a little profile, because this is where all of the discussion a lot of the meaningful discussion from the Dash community goes on. It's very different to Discord, which you should really join as well, and Telegram, in that there's less small talk. So all of the discussion is quite well organized and quite well set up. So we want to go to governance and budget proposals. There's a guide here to show you how to create a proposal. I'm going to show you how to do that in a video. And let's look at a pre-proposal here. So this is a typical pre-proposal. This is someone's pre-proposal that they put forward in April. We're not going to go through that one because I have created my own. Now, this pre-proposal is for me to create these videos, one of which is what you're watching, but mostly the main video of the series is the one which will show you how to actually create a proposal on the Dash wallet. Now, when you put in the pre-proposal, there's some things you really want to consider. You don't have to lay it out exactly as I've laid it out. This is just how I do it. Just from my experience with DAOs, this is the best way, or these are the best, let's say, sections or paragraphs, or the best way to split it down into different areas so that people get a broad overview and also get to the information quickly. So the title, obviously, Dash DAO tutorial videos, and in the title, I will like to see the cost, because really, what is it? What does it cost? Are kind of like the two main things. It kind of sets the person's mindset before they go in to read. So if you got it laid out perfectly there, and you've got the fee, especially if the fee, like in this case, is quite low, then people will come into it with a generally positive mindset, which is what you want. So basically, just introduce yourself first of all, and say what it is you want to be doing. Well, you already have it in the title. I immediately go in with my fee. The fee to create 10 videos in a series, I'd like 10 Dash. Now, at this stage, your fee can quite comfortably change. So anything you put in this particular document is open to discussion. You also have to say that how long the proposal will last. See, unlike if we look at PivX, Dash proposals generally don't have this code section. They generally don't use that. I feel like they probably should, but they just don't. So what would be good for you to do is just to say how long your proposal is going to last, how many cycles. The shorter the amount of cycles, generally, the better. You don't really want to put forward a proposal that's going to last loads and loads of cycles, because you don't want to give the masternode owners fatigue when they have to vote on your proposal every single month, and you just become a pain, and no one wants to be a pain. Excuse me. I go into my background. In this particular case, you don't have to go through your whole background. I don't tell them where I went to school or where I grew up or anything like that. I just say that I've worked on DAOWatch.blog, which is maybe the website where you're watching this. But just to show that I've got some background within DAOs, and that I also share with them that I've made a similar series for PivX that they can go and watch. It's always good to link to your background, anything that you've got, any kind of like portfolio type thing that you've got that you can link to, always link to it within your proposal. It's always good that people can go into your proposal, click on your links and get taken to wherever it was that you, or whatever it was that you created in the past. So introduction into what you're going to do, lay out the objectives, educate, engage, empower. It's all a bit cliche, but it's basically what the videos are designed to do. Overview, show what the tutorial video topics will be. So in this case, yours may be different. Budget and resource allocation. This is quite an important section to include. What you want to include is really you want to break down where all the money is going to as much as you can. So if you've asked for a certain amount, you want to say exactly what that budget is for, how you're going to allocate those resources. It may not just be money you're asking for. You may be asking for something else. You may be asking for a percentage of something. You may be asking an opinion on something, but you want to say exactly how you're going to allocate your resources. Somebody may be able to come in and help you with that. They may say to you, look, it may be more efficient if you, instead of buying this, you buy that. Instead of getting your services from here, you get your services from there. Those sorts of things. They may offer people this. At this point, you want to get as much input from the rest of the community as possible. Then I go into my community engagement and distribution strategy. This is applicable to mine because mine is videos. Yours may be something else, but if you're, let's say you're creating a fiat gateway or something, what you might want to do is explain how you're going to engage the community with your fiat gateway, how you're going to distribute the knowledge that your fiat gateway exists to other people. So basically that's what that section's about. Collaboration and feedback. Now, in this section is pretty important. You want to say who you want to collaborate with. In my case, I already have collaborated with a guy called Dan S. So I'm going to try to collaborate with him again. Prior to putting this proposal forward, I have not contacted Dan S and asked him if I can collaborate with him. I don't think you have to at this scenario, but I have had situations where I have not spoken to the people beforehand and they have not been happy that I've said that I'm going to collaborate with them. So sometimes if you can reach out to them behind closed doors, sometimes it may be better. I personally don't think it should matter, but to some people it does matter. So just bear that in mind. If you're going to name somebody that you plan to collaborate with, it's a good idea possibly to discuss it with them first. Remember, this is just what you're planning to do. This is not what you're putting in. This is what you're planning to do. This is not what you're putting in as your official proposal. So all of this is subject to change. I may put this in and Dan may reply and say, no, I don't want to work with you. You are too pretty. I don't like pretty people. He may say something like that. In which case, I'll have to find someone else. But it's good that you get all of that out of the way at this point before you've been paid by the Masternode owners. I also say that my fee may change in light of compensation he requests, as I feel he should be properly paid for his time. He has previously helped me for free. But next is contingency. What will you do if your proposal does not pass? So in my particular case, whether the proposal passes or not, the videos will still be made because the videos are being made in the process of putting forward the proposal. So if I've made them, I'm going to use them regardless. So in your situation, that may not be the case. You may need the money before you can start to actually action whatever it is you're proposing. Either way, this is the area where you discuss what happens if your proposal does not pass. If the proposal does not pass, I'm still going to complete the tutorials, blah, blah, blah. Concerns. It's a good section to add, just so that you let people know that you're aware of some things that may be situations or maybe things that your proposal should worry about. Now, in my particular case, it's that Dash has got a new platform coming out soon. I'm making this video at the start of August 2023. By December 2023, there might be a new Dash platform, which means there might be a new Dash wallet, which means that these videos may be outdated. Well, not this particular part. This part might be outdated, but the actual process of putting a proposal on chain might be outdated. If that's the case, I need to have some sort of plan to mitigate that or to create new proposals and completely eliminate that worry. It's always good to add concerns. Make sure you add them. You can add them at the end or you can add them at the beginning. Try not to add them in the middle. What you want is you want the document to flow, and concerns is something that really you either start with or you end with. You don't really just throw them in the middle. So finally, you have a conclusion, which kind of just summarizes everything you want. Make sure you put your details there, and best regards, your full name, your title, your position. In my case, that would be CryptoC DAO Watch .blog. Oops. CryptoC DAO Watch .blog. I don't have a title, but you may have a title. Once you've done all that, if there are any files that you decide that you need to attach them at that point. I generally don't like to attach files. It's generally a bit of a privacy concern if somebody's trying to give you a file to download. Privacy or OPSEC, safety, general safety, don't download random people's files. So I'm not going to add any files because people shouldn't download files from me. And I am going to, once that is all done, I'm going to click on Post Thread. And with that, the thread is posted and the pre-proposal has begun. Now, the next thing you want to do, because your job is very far from over, the next thing you want to do is you want to start promoting your pre-proposal. Now, you can do that, you've already started on the forums, but you can do that by sharing the pre-proposal on Twitter, Instagram, or Reddit, or in other Discord channels or other forums where people who you feel may be interested in Dash hang out, and just share it with them and try to get them to come and, interact with your proposal, interact with your thread. One last thing, when deciding at what point during the cycle you want to put your pre-proposal in or get it started, I personally feel like it doesn't matter. But one thing you need to bear in mind is that you need to have your pre-proposal running for, I would say, around 1 month, at least 2 weeks, between 2 weeks to 1 month, depending on how long your proposal is, or depending on the scope of your proposal, really. But generally, as a quick rule of thumb, I would say 2 weeks to between 2 and 4 weeks. The reason why is you want to give everyone a chance to come and see your proposal. Some people may only check the forums once a month at the beginning of the cycle, or they may only check it at the end of the cycle. They might only check it when they're about to vote, and they might typically only vote once per cycle. So what you really want to do is get this out and keep it out for at least between 2 to 4 weeks. And then you need to start considering when you're going to put your actual proposal on chain. But we will discuss that more in the video tutorial where we look at putting your proposal on chain. And that's it, really. It really is that simple. It's as simple as getting a thread started on a forum, and that's your pre-proposal done. You just need to consider the discussion. Some things I like to say is general rules of thumb. The main thing I would say, main suggestion I would make is be patient. You must remember that with these types of things, there are characters in these forums, in crypto, in DAOs, who are very, very much used to being the smartest person in the room. And so they can be patronizing, they can be rude, they can treat you, especially if it's a community that you're not that familiar with, which is a good thing. It's good if you're not that familiar. It's good to put in proposals places where you're not really well known. But people may treat you as if you're some sort of scammer, as if you're some sort of beggar. People can be very rude. You just have to be patient. I always like to say you can take it as a chance to show that you can handle criticism, you can handle unfair criticism, you can handle pressure, and you can handle this proposal. Now, if you can handle this proposal, there's no reason for them not to fund you if your proposal is sound. If your proposal is not sound, this is where you'll find out. At this point, people will come and they'll tell you it's not sound. Take their advice on board and definitely make changes. The pre-proposal that you put in, 9 times out of 10 or 99 times out of 100, it will not be the same as the proposal you actually put forward in the end if you've made a good pre-proposal. This is your time to improve your proposal. This is your time to get the word out there, get people aware of what you're doing, and just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Don't take things to heart. Don't take things too personally. People will be rude, and they will treat you with suspicion. It's not just in Dash, that's in any project. And best of luck. I know you got this.